Hello, it is good to see you again on Yoga with Paige. I am Paige, if we have not had the pleasure of practicing together before. Today's class is a very nice stay low flow. So that means no sun salutations, not even downward facing dog. We stay really, really low, so we work through a lot of hip openers. We have a gentle warm up, and then we dive into some lunging action before we cool it back down. So grab a block, have it handy, or a yoga strap if you're feeling a little bit tight. But this is a beautiful class. I'm so excited you're here, and we can get started in easy seat whenever you're ready. So whenever you're ready in your easy seat, come into this practice with a big full breath. Big deep inhale. Bring all of the air in through the nose and exhale it all out through the nose. One more time like that. Coming into this moment. Finding your sense of presence, your sense of connection here. And then reach the arms above the head, interlace the fingers, pressing the palms up, draw the shoulders down. Hold here for a moment, just feeling this out, finding some length. Inhale. Let the belly expand, let it hang out. And then exhale, gently tilt to the right, taking your gaze up, kind of by your left shoulder if that feels good. One more breath. And gently raise back up to center. Take one inhale to reset. And exhale over to the other side. Beautiful, back through center. And then taking some rib rolls. So send the ribs over to the right. Then take them back. We're kind of rounding like cat pose here. Then over to the left and send the belly forward. So we can start to use the arms to kind of help yourself deepen this roll. And then after a few, begin to go the other way. So just feeling the spine as it awakens. Make sure we feel good there. And whenever you're ready, you can release the hands, maybe roll out the wrists on the way down. Taking the hands to the knees, find a few little hip circles. We like circles today. Just big breaths. And allow yourself to feel whatever may come up for you during this practice. We do have a lot of hip openers, so if you feel some emotions, things bubbling to the surface, let them come, allow them, give yourself permission to feel, to open up. So finishing out with your little hip circles, we feel nice and warmed up there. You can uncross the ankles and press the soles of the feet together, finding bound angle. Now we have an option here to make this a static hold, but I think it would be a little bit more fun to give our bound angle some butterfly wings. Start to flap the legs back and forth. Maybe we find a little rock here too, kind of waking up the inner groins even more. Finding some fun. Taking a few more breaths. And whenever you're ready to release the feet, I'm going to turn to the front of the mat. If you were facing the side, you can turn to the front as well. Plant the left foot down, hands are behind the bum. Take the right ankle, cross it over the left knee, and use your hands to press the chest towards the legs. So find the position here of your legs that feels good. You're going to kind of rock it out side to side. Waking up the glutes. Beautiful. Now connect to the core, really ground down through the hands. And on your next exhale, press through the hands in this left foot to send the hips up towards the sky. Trying to find a nice long spine for just one breath. And then release the hips back down and gently uncross the other side. The left ankle comes over the right knee, and we find what feels good here. Yes. Just noticing your breath, let it draw you back into the moment. Finding one more breath before we add in some strength. All right, on your next exhale, press everything up, squeeze the glutes, taking the gaze up to the sky, one breath. And exhale, coming back down onto the sit bones, uncross the legs, but come into boat pose. So lift the shins parallel to the mat. We can make this a little bit more accessible with the hands still on the mat, or we can really bring out some heat, some fire. Release the hands, draw the navel into the spine. Try to lift your chest as close as you can to the legs, letting the arms by the sides. We want to flap the arms. That's a little extra added challenge. We're here for 2 more breaths. Keep holding. 1 more. And release. Cross the feet at the ankles. Gently make your way into tabletop. So make sure we're in the middle of the mat here, grounding down through the tops of the feet and gazing just slightly between the hands. Ground down through this left shin and squeeze the glutes together to raise the right leg out to hip height. Let it drop back down, tap the knee. 2 more times like this. Exhale to open. Inhale to lower. Last time. Squeeze. Beautiful. Bring the knee back under the hips and extend the leg long, coming up onto the ball of the foot, pressing away from the hands, opening up the calf. Beautiful. One last breath. I'm going to raise that right leg behind you, pointing the toes, sending it up behind, maybe taking a slight little back bend here. Take your time, opening up naturally as you go. Staying here, we have the option to reach the left arm behind, try to find the ankle, and continue to press up as we use the opposition. Trying to square the hips, find your balance. This one doesn't seem too easy for me today. And exhale, release, but crunch the knee into the nose. Inhale, take the right leg behind. And exhale, crunch. 1 more time. Big breath. Crunch. And then release the right knee. Find your tabletop again. And now we know what to do. Exhale, squeeze the glutes, send the left leg high. Back down. 2 more. Really trying to control these movements and articulate through the hip. Making our joints nice and happy and healthy. And extend the left leg behind, raising up onto the ball of the foot. Sending the heel back as far as we can, seeing how far up the back of the leg we can feel this stretch travel. Finding one last breath, press away from the mat, create space. Inhale, take the leg up. Slowly find your back bend, your version of tiger pose, and we can always keep the foot flexed and keep a neutral spine and stay here in donkey kick. Maybe trying to reach for the ankle, seeing if it feels any different on this side. Connect to the breath. And exhale, plant the right hand, crunch knee to nose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crunch. Last time. Beautiful. Release down to tabletop, tuck the toes, and come to sit back on the heels, keeping the hands on the mat. So pressing through the balls of the feet, walk the hands back a little bit, come up onto the fingertips, and just round through the back, tucking the chin. Two breaths. And on this last breath, let the fingertips slowly glide towards the knees. Let them crawl up the legs as we straighten the spine and release. We're going to gently, gingerly, step this left foot up. So come up onto the knees. Step the left foot coming into our low lunge and release. Exhale down, sending the hips down and forward. Waking up this right psoas muscle, this right hip crease. Taking a few breaths to really settle in here. Take a little check-in. See how you're doing this far. I'm glad you're still here with me. I hope you're enjoying this flow. Maybe going a little bit deeper on this next exhale. Gently plant the fingertips on either side of the left foot. Swing this right leg behind. A little kickstand. Left hand comes to the inside of the foot. Right arm reaches overhead. This little modified extended side angle, modified side plank. Try to rotate the torso up towards the sky so we're creating space. We can also come up onto the knee. Maybe we feel this more in the inner groins. Play around, have some fun. And on your next exhale, gently come back to your low lunge. Plant the right fingertips and peel the left arm up. Big twist. Inhale, gently raise the chest, reach this right arm forward, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Let the left hand fall to the back of the leg as the right reaches over. Maybe we creep the fingertips towards the foot. Still staying nice and low. Woo, almost lost my balance there. Beautiful. Lifting the chest back up. Try to kick this right ankle up and we can grab a hold. We can take the right hand to the knee and just pull the quadricep. We'll lengthen through the quadricep as we pull the ankle in towards the hips. We can also grab onto it with both hands and face the front of the mat. Finding what feels good to you, what it's all about. On this next exhale, gently release the foot back down. Lie the shin down at the top of the mat, coming into pigeon pose. Squaring the hips, moving carefully, untuck the back foot, plant the hands. Find a few breaths here to just surrender. Find somewhere that we can soften. Take one more big breath and release. Steeple the fingertips on the edge of the mat. Pressing away, inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, take the chest towards the mat. Inhale, lift. And exhale, fold. Going maybe a little bit deeper into the glute. Moving with the breath, finding your little flow. Inhale, lift. Release the fingers. Plant the palms. Reach back for this right ankle. Pull it into the hips. Another little quadricep stretch. We're really deepening and opening today. We can stay here. We also have an option to come into a little mermaid pose, placing the foot on the inside of the elbow, reaching for the hands. Maybe we try this if we've never gone here before. This is one of my favorite poses. Beautiful heart and hip opener. Release the emotion. On your next exhale, gently replace that foot. Turn onto the sit bones, keeping this left foot in towards the hips. Reaching for the right foot, left arm comes overhead. Feeling the skin stretch on the side of the ribs. Using the arm to help you take momentum, lift your chest up, cross this right leg over the left, plant the foot, and hug yourself in. Find a little twist. About 2 breaths here. And then stack the knees, wiggling into cow face pose. Reaching for the feet. Maybe give them a little massage. Give them a little love. Come back to your breath. Come back to yourself. Rooting down through the sit bones, close to the earth. Finding some ease with the effort. And whenever you're ready to go on to the other side, I'm going to take this right foot, step it up at the top of the mat, and slowly transition into your low lunge. Creeping that left leg back. Raising the chest up high, letting the hands travel to the knee, the hips, maybe heart center if you're feeling a little shaky in your mental foundation. I always find that that helps me connect a little bit more. So find what feels good and stay there. Releasing all negative thoughts, negative self-talk. We don't need that. Inhale more compassion and love for yourself. And exhale whatever you no longer need. And then find your last breath and prepare to drop the fingertips. Kickstand the left leg behind, coming into your version of this little extended side angle, side plank, hybrid, whatchamacallit. Reaching the left arm over. Maybe coming up onto the knee for the last breath. And then making our way back into our low lunge, keeping the left fingertips on the mat as we peel the right arm up. One breath. Then connect to the core, lift yourself off. Reach for the opposite sides of the room. Nice strong arms. And then let the right hand travel to the leg. Not pushing anything, just letting yourself feel. And then coming into our quadricep stretch, kicking that left foot up, reaching for your lovely ankle, pulling it into the hips as we lift the chest. Coming back to the breath always. Find your last breath, and then gently release. Make your way into pigeon. Heel toe that foot to the other side of the mat. Staying here with your hands planted for the first few breaths. Letting yourself really feel it. Release tension in the hips. Using intention, conscious thought. Conscious thought makes conscious action and creates a conscious life. One that you want to live, one that you get to build. Take your last breath of stillness before steepling the fingertips and finding your waves. Inhale, lift, and exhale, fold. This fluid motion, forward and backward bending. So healthy for the spine. And meeting back in our pigeon pose before coming into our quadricep stretch or mermaid. Whichever is in your practice today, whichever makes you feel good. Two more breaths. And lovingly release the foot. Shift your weight onto the sit bones, flexing this left foot, and reach over. Right arm glides through the air. Maybe we can reach the left foot, maybe we can't. You can also use a yoga strap here. Beautiful. See what comes up for you today, no matter what that may be. And gently lift the chest. So leaping this left leg on top, trying to stack knees. And we can kind of swing around to face the front of the mat if we've traveled a little bit. So wriggle around, find your comfy spot. And then try to resist any urge to fidget as you ground down into the earth. Find your connection point, whatever that means to you. And then take one last big, beautiful breath. Send oxygen to the brain. And exhale, lift the chest back up if we fold it over a little bit. And we're going to take our twist that I missed before we came into this position. So raise the left knee up, plant the foot, and hug your leg into the chest. Beautiful. I knew something felt a little off. Send the love to yourself on this next exhale. And then return to center. Uncross the legs, extending them out, coming into staff pose. Lifting up through the crown of the head like a string is being pulled from your torso. And on this next exhale, gently walk the fingertips down to wherever feels good, wherever we can. Keep a nice flat back. We want a long spine. Just feel the stretch in the lower back. Maybe we can reach the little toes. You can also use a yoga strap here to help you pull closer. And just let yourself melt with every breath. We're not here for too long, just a gentle little cool down as we begin to end our practice. Then we can walk the fingertips back up as we raise the chest. Take this left foot and try to cradle the shin in, so we don't have to come too far. Just find a little bit of movement. Maybe we reach for the shin and we pull it into the chest. It just depends on how open and accessible we are today. And then reaching for the big toe or using the strap to extend this left leg out to the side, really trying to pull the foot towards the head to get a nice big stretch in the back of the leg. Trying to keep the spine lifted, we can use both hands and point the toe. Maybe see how that feels different. We can always use hands to stabilize behind us. And exhale to release, taking the right foot into our little cradle, our little baby cradle. Maybe rocking back and forth. And then whenever you feel ready 2, extend the leg, reach the foot up towards the ceiling, pull the leg into the chest. But staying where you can comfortably breathe. No pain here, please. And on your next exhale, you can gently replace the leg, send the arms in front of the chest, and slowly roll onto the back. We're going to take a few minutes in Happy Baby. So send the feet up, reach for your contact point. My hand just slipped. And just let the legs fall to the sides. The knees are by the ribs. We're pressing the lower back down into the mat, giving it some nice relief. And just letting yourself open and let go. Maybe letting the eyes close. Listening to the sound of your breath. Maybe we are revisiting some emotions or thoughts that came up for us during this practice. Knowing that this is a safe place for you to feel those things, really get to know yourself, dive deeper. Or we can just be here in this moment with our breath, with each other. So take as long as you need here. And if you're ready to find a gentle twist before we relax into our final resting pose, you can keep the knees together, send the arms out, shoulder height, and let the knees drop to the right side. Back through center and over to the left. Finding a little bit of movement. Coming back up through center. And when your knees come back over to the right, we can gently find a little static twist. Holding here for a few breaths. Maybe gazing over the left shoulder. And gently lifting the knees back up through center and roll over to the other side. And gently coming back onto the back. Preparing for Shavasana, extending the legs long, letting the feet open to the corners of the mat, tucking the shoulder blades underneath, and letting the arms fall by the sides, palms up. Take one big, full inhale. Hold at the top and exhale. Take one more breath like that. Big inhale. Hold at the top and exhale. And as you return back to your natural rhythm of breath, begin to take a small body scan, maybe starting at the crown of the head, moving all the way down to the toes, locating any areas that we may still be holding a little residual tension. Send your awareness there and just consciously release. Let the mind go. The muscles of the face relax. And just enjoy the quiet and the stillness. Letting the breath anchor you back. The mind begins to wander. And I thank you so much for joining me today. This is where I leave you, so you can stay here. If you need some more rest in Shavasana, or you can begin to gently wake up the body and make your way to a sitting position. Find one last breath wherever you are. Finding gratitude for your body, for this practice. And I am grateful for you allowing me to be here and share these practices with you. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. I look forward to seeing you the next time we practice together. And if you did enjoy this little slow flow, low to the ground flow, please give this video a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts down below and hit that subscribe button if you're not already to never miss more daily classes. I will see you next time on the mat, my friends. Have a lovely, lovely day.